This is the ROG Swift PG279Q. With its 165Hz refresh rate, 1440p resolution and an IPS panel, this is one well-equipped display. Throw G-Sync into that mix as well and you have what could easily be the ultimate gaming monitor. Over the last 3 weeks I tested this to find out. So, is it any good? Well, the first thing we need to do is get it out of the box, and this was very easy to do because it's all pre-assembled and ready to go. And then once you plonk it on your desk, it's the usual ROG Swift affair where the whole stand and just the whole finish and all of that looks really premium and feels very nice. You've got really nice and slim bezels, probably some of the best in the business, and the stand has all the adjustments you need. So it goes up and down, it swivels left and right, and it pivots as well to the left. So if you want to plug in some connections, this is a little bit easier, or if you actually want to use this as a vertical monitor, then you can do that as well. Buttons are around the back on the right hand side if you're looking at it from the front, and the four-way selector at the top of these buttons make navigating the menu very easy to do. The menu's got everything you need in it, including one of the features that I like most about these FreeSync and G-Sync monitors, whereby it tells you exactly what frame rate it's receiving and showing, so you don't need to rely on something like Fraps to show frame rate in your games. A very nice feature indeed. Connections wise, you'll find a DisplayPort 1.2, and this is the thing you're going to want to hook this up to in order to get the high refresh rate and the G-Sync. But there is an HDMI, which I believe is HDMI 2.0 as well, if you want to hook up something like a 4K Blu-ray player. But of course, because this isn't a 4K monitor, you're not going to get the full benefits of doing so. If you want to use this as a USB hub as well, you've got two USB 3.0 ports, as well as the usual upstream, so you can use this as a hub. Very nice to see, and the whole thing looks and feels nice and premium. So it's a very good start. But the real magic happens once you get this thing plugged in and attached to your monitor, to your PC. And you're going to need a high-end PC to get the most out of it, and of course you're going to want to have an Nvidia card again to get the most out of it, because running this with an AMD card just makes no sense at all, because you're paying for all the premium of G-Sync and you're not going to be able to use it. But the thing just looks beautiful as soon as you turn it on. It's not got the same level of pop and wow that you get with a 4K monitor, and if you do want a 4K monitor, then you're going to have to give up the high refresh rate that makes this thing so special. Once you enable the overclocked 165Hz refresh rate of the monitor, things just look up. They look incredible, and I say they look, it's more the way they feel. Just simply moving the mouse around on the desktop really gets that same feeling that I got all those years ago when I first used the BenQ. It's really nice, and it just makes browsing or anything like that little bit nicer. Personally, if I was just going to be doing browsing, then yes, having a higher resolution does make more sense, but it's still nice to have a little bit of a benefit from that higher refresh rate. But if you do want to access the full benefits of having 165Hz at 1440p, yes, you're going to need to boot up some games. So, as we're playing it at the moment, Rise of the Tomb Raider is the first port of call, and it really does just get the most out of the game. It's a game that is pretty well optimized, it doesn't necessarily get the most out of SLI, and so this is where having a G-Sync monitor comes in handy, because it can handle those frames that dip, and it can handle that stutter and basically eliminate both. As long as you're not getting stutter of 20 frames a second or anything like that, it's going to be nice and smooth, and your frame rate, as long as it's a nice sort of smooth graph, then you're going to get a nice smooth experience. And because it's an IPS panel as well, you're finally getting to see all that lovely colour richness that you expect to see from an IPS or a VA panel. And just the whole thing just makes the game look and feel incredible, which is exactly what I've been after for such a long time. Booting up a game though that really is going to get the most out of this monitor requires a first-person shooter, and the one I've been playing recently is Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Yes, hate is going to hate, but you pair something like that up with a monitor like this, and you're going to get a really nice, smooth experience. And I hate to use the word, but it's so close to perfect, it's unbelievable. And the reason for this is because there's nothing wrong, if you like, with the image you're seeing on screen. Yes, you might have a few panel uniformity issues, you might get a bit of background bleed, and you get a little bit of IPS glow, just the nature of these sorts of monitors, but the real core gameplay experience is butter smooth. You're not going to get any dips in frame rate that you're going to notice with a well optimized game, and as long as you've got a decent PC setup, it's just bliss, because you just sit down and you're completely immersed, and you've got no excuse for being rubbish, I guess. At the moment I'm blaming the mouse for me being rubbish, but genuinely it's just a completely transformative experience. Try going back to a TN 1080p after using this. Really, it's absolutely mesmerising how good this thing looks and how good this thing feels. It's so impressive, and I'm genuinely speechless. That is how good this thing is. And if you want to try some other racing games or some other genre, it's going to handle them equally as well, but you're probably not going to get the full benefit of a panel like this. Any fast Twitch-based games is where it's at. But if you do want to play Dirt Rally, then you're going to get a nice butter smooth experience as well, because it's a nice, well optimized game, and it's a very good looking game as well, so you're going to get the most out of it with a panel like this. And so that is the gaming experience on this monitor. Very, very good. Moving on to productivity and general use. It's not got the same shine that you get with a 4K monitor, but you don't have to rely on scaling or anything. Everything is pretty much the perfect size, and you don't need to worry about messing with the scaling settings, so that's always nice to see. Because it's an IPS panel, even if you're just looking at emails or just browsing the web on Reddit, whatever you're doing, images are going to have more pop and colour, but you're only going to get the full benefit of the IPS panel really if you are going to start using some more productivity tasks. So video editing or photo editing, both are very good on this panel. If you're a true professional user that is printing in Adobe RGB, then maybe this still isn't quite the right monitor for you, but I generally find it very hard to think that any general gaming user would have anything negative to say about the image quality of the monitor. It's really good, as long as you obviously don't have any serious problems in chipping or anything like that. So that is the ROG Swift, and this is one of those moments where I don't have too much else to say other than this wins the Editor's Choice Award, because it's the monitor I want. I've tested so many monitors over the last year. Asus kindly lent this out for this review, and while I can't keep it, I'm sure it won't be too long before I go out basically and get the wallet out and buy one for myself, because genuinely I think as long as you've got an Nvidia card, this is the way to go. The only real negative I have to say about this monitor is, of course, it's incredibly expensive, just like its cousin the ROG Swift 4K, and if you are building a rig from scratch, then in all honesty it probably does make more sense maybe to look at, well, at least look at going the AMD route, and then saving the money on the monitor, getting a FreeSync monitor, and then spending the extra money on a higher quality graphics card. But we'll probably do some more testing and see whether that is the case a little bit later down the line. So thank you so much for watching this video. As always, it's a pleasure to have you along. If you want to see the review of this cousin, the cousin of this monitor, the ROG P279Q, I believe it's called, which is the 4K 60Hz G-Sync version. You can find that in the little eye over there, as well as the Skylake build that was used to test this monitor. If you have liked this video, hit that like button, because it lets other people know this is a video worth watching. But if it wasn't, likewise hit that dislike button and let people know it wasn't. And if you want to see more videos like this, then please subscribe and you'll get them straight to your inbox. It takes an incredible amount of effort to get these videos out for you guys. Yes, it's very true, I like doing it, but with your support, we can keep going. So if you have liked this video, then please share it with some of your friends. So, thank you so much for watching this video. As always, I'm off to go play some games, and I'll see you in the next one.